And we are live, I think. I think. Yep, we're live. All right, so once again, the main issue, and I'll open up Chrome just to prove it to you. It looks a little bit different in Chrome. Nope. 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 Okay. All right, so today's session, this is what, the 23rd of August, Sunday, late. We've worked out all of the kinks. We're going to give all of you guys an extra week. At least we're going to give you 2 weeks, in fact. And I know that I wrote this in the email, but not all of you are joining from that email. You're joining from a link that's sent from Zoom or a link that's sent from Slack. But all of you guys that were in the trading room that are wondering, well, so what does this mean for me? This isn't really better than the trading room at all. Well, it's not yet, but you haven't seen how it should operate because it's been basically folded under pressure, under usage. And then it's not a beer, it's a Waterloo sparkling water, lemon lime, naturally flavored with other natural flavors. Yeah, natural. But yeah, we're going to give you guys, each and every one of you, an exact date, and we're going to be extremely lenient in our number of days and weeks extra free that we give you. So you really don't have anything to worry about as far as, how we're going to treat you. We'll treat you as well as we possibly can. And I'm sure you'll be satisfied with that. I just know for a fact that you're not satisfied with the performance of this thing up until this point, and neither am I. All I can do is apologize and make it better, which is what, after this apology, which I give sincerely, what I'm striving for. And I think we've achieved just that. As you'll see, well, maybe not totally directly, but you'll see here momentarily anyway. All right, so that means it's saved as a bookmark, right? Okay. So if I log in, well, I guess if I must, I must. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh. You will not do this to me. Mm-hmm. You have to do this in any Chromium-based browser. So that can mean any number of browsers. Obviously, Google Chrome, as it's Chromium-based. The new Microsoft Edge, which is also Chromium-based. think there's Vivaldi. Opera is a good one. It's actually a really nice browser. Opera is. Firefox, I don't know that it has these abilities because I'm not sure if it's Chromium bad. I think they just totally make their own thing, Firefox. But you're not going to see that, what I'm talking about, to install it as an app until you click on Forum. All right. You're not installing the WordPress site as an app. However, it works as an app after you install the Forum as a Chromium-based application. Brave, I think Brave is Chromium, yeah. You'll have to check it and see. So I click on Forum. There's that little plus, right? And this is Google Chrome. Is it not? Yeah, it is. See, install, trade the plan, member forum. I mean, it looks a whole lot like Microsoft's new browser as well, but Microsoft's new browser is very square. These are quite rounded tabs. So yeah, this is certainly Google Chrome. And there's that little plus, right? Is there anyone that sees that? Brandon Evans does not see it. Could anybody maybe tell Brandon why he might not be seeing it? Brandon, are you seeing everything blanked out? Or do you see anything? Can you click on your name up here? If you're not seeing it, it's because you're logged in more than one spot from before we changed the settings, from before Mr. Architect rebuilt how it works. And you'll need to log in, but you'll want to click on your username via this little symbol for yourself, whatever that is. Can't remember what you call that. Daniel preferences, and then scroll down to the bottom. Log out of all. See, I'm logged into 4 spots. You can log into 4 spots now. You just couldn't before. So you need to log out of everything now and then log back in, and then you'll be able to do pretty much whatever you want. Oh yeah, if you've already installed it, you're not going to see it. Yeah. Yeah, once you install it, there it is. There's your Chromium app. And you see, if you do it from Google or Microsoft, it can also work with all of your extensions, which may or may not be a good thing in my case. Supposedly they're clean, but who knows? And then we can talk about notifications. So if you want to get a notification, there are 17 different ways you can do it now. It's quite incredible. You got it, Brandon? Okay. Did you have to log out and log in? Yeah. Okay, good. So that works. Good. All right. So now you can go in here to notifications once you click on your name and preferences. And you can set notifications to your heart's content, you can set it to specific people sending you private messages, which you guys can do. Notify when one of your posts is liked. Oh, I'll give you chills. If there's something that you're tracking, a particular post that you've asked a question in, and you want to know when someone, if anyone, would please give you an answer, when that answer arrives. So normal, tracking, watching. I want to say watching includes both tracking and normal. So this is the highest level. Basically, if anything happens in that thread or topic or category, you'd be notified. And then you can set that to specific categories only, which of course for me, it's going to show everything. For you guys, it'll show the main ES where we, Bo and myself, where we post, where you guys can ask questions as well. Y'all can post there too, but we made a dedicated forum for each of the main forums, or let's say we made a dedicated topic for each of the three main topics. Those three main topics are the 6E, which we've just kind of thrown in for free for right now because we're going to put some Forex in there. I know a lot of you guys are wanting more Forex, so we're going to add the Euro USD to the 6E channel. And then in the ES channel, we're adding NASDAQ, YM, anything to do with the US equities, which we ought to just name it US equities for now, but we're just kind of doing that as a bonus just to kind of, give you as much as possible. I know a lot of people are really interested in the NASDAQ right now, as it's making all-time highs yet again. So there are a lot of different ways that you can set notifications, anti-notifications. You can mute people. Interference, I didn't quite understand this. I'm kind of thinking that some of this just isn't necessarily correct, not supposed to be there. I don't know. Some of this is just kind of bizarre. Like account, for instance, you've got title here. Maybe he's fixed it. Nope. So there's there's a 6E, CL, and an ES title. That doesn't make very much sense. But what we will have will be, I don't know, subscriber, moderator, I guess owner for me, and leader. That's for gamification. We don't have any of that stuff turned on yet. But eventually we will have some sort of competition. But first, we'll have to be able to, be able to monitor your trades if you want to. So that'll be coming down the road, not too much longer, but yeah, hopefully not too much longer. So that's about the gist of the forum. So now you see this is an app. It's an actual app. I don't have to worry about opening up a Chrome browser or Microsoft. I can close this. I can open it back up. It's automatically signed in. I don't have to keep signing in every time. I can actually go to the members area, which is just incredible. Look at it. So it's basically just by nature of it being connected to our forum via this single sign-on doohickey, it's made our whole entire shebang here a Chrome app. which isn't that lovely. And you can even go to the ticket center and the knowledge base, which will be growing with a quickness now that we don't have any more issues. The next thing that you're going to see is the brand new import manager, which is, for lack of a better word, just bad. Bad. Can't do that right. I tried. It's really pretty amazing. So again, make it a Chrome app. You'll really be happy that you did. And if you want to add it to your desktop, it's a really ugly looking background I've got there. If you want to, oh, it did add it to the desktop. Okay, well, I was going to show you if you wanted to add it to the desktop. Last person I did this with, it didn't add it to the desktop, or maybe it added, well, I don't know. He had about 77,000 different items on his desktop. So if you right click on here from Windows 10 and you go to more, you can open file location. See that? You can also pin it to your taskbar. Bam. So if you ever want to access the forum, there it is. Go to CL. Now this is where, let me just stop for a moment. All right, this is all going to be into a very condensed video here. When we get done, I just wanted to show you this in person, give you guys a chance to ask questions, just so I didn't miss anything in the video and have to remake it. So, crude oil member discussion. This is where you guys will upload screenshots automatically from the toolbar. Depending upon what chart that you've clicked on, it will auto direct the screenshot to the proper topic. So if you click on a USO crude oil ETF chart, even if it has 0 objects on it, just the fact that it's a USO ETF, an oil ETF, or crude oil, or the mini, which is QM. It's also quite thin, but maybe better for swing trading. I don't know. It's up to you, depending upon the size of your account. It will auto direct the screenshot to the proper forum, and at the same time you can copy it to your clipboard, paste it into anywhere else. Eventually I imagine we'll have it to where you can send it to Twitter, or everything else that Ninja can do or should be able to do, right? Just like any other add-on or strategy, it shouldn't limit functionality but enhance it, right? So this is where people are getting confused as to what's not necessarily confusion, but a lack of instruction. So you have the topic, and if this is where the tracking comes in. So if you have some of these anti-trackers, or some of the settings inside of Firefox especially is very, very strict when it comes to blocking trackers. And there's any number of add-ons that you can add that will block pop-ups, which would keep you from being able to install it from the get-go, but then also block any tracking. And if you're blocking tracking, well, then you probably just won't see anything here at all, because it needs to track. That's the only thing that it tracks, is where was the last post that you saw. So if I click here, this will take me to the last post that I saw. But if I click here under activity, this will take me to the very last post. See, that's the last one. Moments later, we had no longer the ability to send screenshots, which was a bit of a kind of abrupt surprise. But nonetheless, we have it all sorted out and are raring and ready to go for tomorrow. And I actually have a computer that works. And no, I'm not going to build my own computers, even though I have all of these parts here. I'm not that foolish anymore. I don't think. I'm going to send them to a fella down the road, get them warranted, get a warranty for them, and have them built professionally, just in case these hands of mine have some sort of major malfunction. I wonder what the odds of that are. So to go over that one last time. Whoa, where's the back button? See, that's the thing about a Chrome app. You don't have a back button, do you? There is a hotkey for back, but it's on your mouse. I don't know what it is on the keyboard. I don't think there is one on the keyboard. I've got all my hotkeys changed on my mouse. Anybody know what the hotkey for Alt left arrow, huh? Custom builder build a funnel. Okay, cool, yeah. Oh, you can just right click and select back. Yeah. Look at that. Nice. So this does this show up for you guys about the CL category? Because it's really not a category anymore, is it? It's a topic according to discourse. This is what Corey had written in there. I don't think you guys should be able to see that now. Okay, good. As it turns out, Corey had made himself the owner of the forum, which was a little awkward. Let's see. Yeah, so you can go back to the members area. You can go to the contact page to send us an email. You can go to the help page, and of course you can log out. And if you log out from here, well then obviously you'll have to log back in. Now, this is kind of awkward and big, but this will all be updated here soon. Oh yeah, I've got it. I mean, there's like 20 guys here to choose from. I'm just gonna take it down the road and just have them piece it together, just so it's warranted. So I have a warranty. You know, I don't want to put it together and mess it up. Besides that, it takes a solid 3 hours to put it together at least, and then it takes 12 hours to install Windows, update everything, get everything installed. It's about a 2-day process. So I don't need to be taking the time to do that. That would be really foolish of me to spend that amount of time on building a computer when I've got so many other things to do. So yeah, I'm trying to get a little bit smarter with my time here. Today, yeah, I did change that one out because it failed Friday when we were all online together. And then John called me up and you know, I broke down. I don't know if I could take one more day of technical issues. So, you know, I know that it seems just dramatic and ridiculous, and how could it possibly be true? But at least one of you out there knows what I'm dealing with and how serious it actually is. I suppose I have a target on my back. Uh, some would say that it's imaginary and it'll be gone the minute that I quit thinking that it's there, but that's foolish to me. So, once again, to get back to the most recent post, is to click on this column on the right. So, if you have problems where you don't see anything, you log out of all by clicking your little icon, username, preferences, scroll down to the bottom, log out from all, log back in from a Chromium-based browser, and then you'll see that little plus sign in the actual address bar. Not here, not in the menu, right where you type the URL. The URL is the address in the address bar. You'll see that little plus sign or something. And then you click on that and it asks you if you want to install it as a Chrome app, and you do. And then your problems are over. And it's that simple. Well, it is now. It's been a bit of a nightmare, but no worse than any other one. Yep. So I shorted this Friday? No, Thursday, when the internet guy came over with his mask on below his nose. He's about 6'5", and I look like a little midge next to him. But um, you know what he told me? Just this isn't a little aside that I don't think you guys would mind too terribly hearing. If you have AT&T, they sent me the same router twice. So I have 3 boxes here that are identical, same exact model number. Do you know how old those are? They're 8 years old. And he knows that. And he knows exactly how many times each one of them has been refurbished. 2 had been refurbished twice. 1 had been refurbished 8 times. And that was the last one that they sent me. The very last one had been refurbished 8 times. So when they said, yeah, you know, these are problems that we've never seen before, you know, we're going to have him check the line to the house. And, you know, it looks like somebody's been monkeying with it, which I've never heard an Indian use that term, monkeying with it. And I was like, well, what does that mean? Somebody monkeying, like monkeying with my line outside or what? She goes, I don't know. I've never seen anything like this. We'll have to have the technician figure it out. Well, he shows up with a brand new device that was made this year. And I'm now registering the highest internet speed that he's ever seen in his entire life at anyone's domicile or business for that matter. And that's with running the speed test on 3 devices at the same time, and it's still registered over 1.2 gigabytes per second. Upload and download. Isn't that crazy? He said that just doesn't make sense. I don't get it. He goes, it must be that new device. I said, well, yeah, clearly it's. He goes, yeah, that's awesome. I've never seen anywhere near that. He goes, so don't get viruses, you know. It's like, all right, well, I'll just try not to click on stuff and hopefully someone doesn't attack me. But anyway, isn't that fascinating? So those devices, he said, can be refurbished up to, but no more than 10 times. 10 times. 8-year-old device. And they only just made a new one this year. And he said that was the very first one that he's installed because I was having so many problems, but also because I talk to them in a particular way when I have an issue. And it seems to get the job done. I basically just say, look, just stop talking, just pass the phone to somebody I can cuss out. Just do it. And then that tends to get me to the right person that will take care of my situation. Yeah, I replaced it 3 times, man. So no, and I've replaced that other one that you're talking about too. This is the actual AT&T device. But now I've got problems with Charter Spectrum. It's supposed to be 400 and it's only 112. It's supposed to be fiber and it's coaxial, whatever. Anyway, I was trying to make a foolproof system, a fail-proof system, such that if the internet goes out with one company, it fails over to the other one that's still active, because I live on the outskirts of town. Oh, as a matter of fact, we have a we have 2 tropical storms going to hit. One tomorrow afternoon and the other one shortly thereafter, I think. The guy that's supposed to be installing a water filter that's already been paid $250 for the parts, which I found very unreasonable. Never came back, and now, of course, he's whatever, using this as an excuse because he may have to leave town because of this tropical storm, you know. Anyway, so that's how you install a Chrome app. Enough is enough. Questions on that? It's pretty neat, right? So back to what I was saying about Thursday. He got here right as I had entered my final contract on Thursday. And then, of course, I had to shut down. I should have just closed the trade, but I was thinking it would be maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. He would just install the new device and that would be it. Well, he was here for like 2 hours. So, long story short, that trade was really ridiculous. And well, this is it just to show you. But I was off to a very, very good start on Tuesday. So Monday was just toast. Nothing was working right for me. However, Tuesday, everything really was quite lovely. And look at where we came down to. I actually bought it early here because of this one. See that? So I bought that. Isn't it lovely how those signals just show up like that instantaneously? So I bought that one. Big 2-bar pattern into that low, just on this one chart, the tick 1. But that's the kind of 2-bar pattern that you really, really want to see. And I was suspicious of it because, well, I was really expecting a expanded flat, right? Because of the fact that we had an ABC back up into the high. A, B, C, and not a 5-wave move. And this was in fact an A, B, C down. So I was really expecting 5 waves down. I didn't want to miss it. I got in early. I got in late right there, actually. That's really late. It's very unlike, well, to be quite honest with you, by the time I saw it, it was already right there. Yeah, so long story short, I was looking for 5 down, really. And then that's what we got right there. Which ended up coming down perfectly to that trend line. See? Right here. Just a simple trend line from low to low. Just get rid of this fib. It's right in that sweet spot, right? For the C wave. Expanded flat. I know this is Elliott wave, whatever, but this is the pattern that gets people into trouble and makes them hate Elliott wave. Because they see, oh wow, it's a new 5-wave move down after a new high. So therefore, I'm looking for an ABC back up, and I'm going to sell the lower high, right? Well, no, it's the 5 waves down of the C wave of this is all wrong. Sorry. It's the 5 waves down of a C wave of an expanded flat. And the sweet spot is that 138.2 to 161.8. You never want to see it go beyond the 261.8. It's allowable, but it becomes more and more improbable once you break through 261.8. I'm talking about the size of wave A, which is the first ABC down, from the end of wave B, which is the ABC up to break the starting point of A, and then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the C down to break the end of A. You never want to see that much larger than 261.8. But that's the sweet spot between these two. And that lined up quite lovely. So I scaled into it, and I'm using a $100,000 account. Evidently, I played around and had already lost 300 or 400 bucks at some point. I don't really even remember doing that. It must have been months ago, but just a sim account. I haven't funded my account yet because you guys haven't given me enough money. So I'm going to start taking charitable donations. Send checks or money orders to 13603 River Lake Drive, attention Daniel Rowe, Covington, Louisiana, 70435. Thank you. That'll be all for this evening. All right, let's do what we came here for. Well, let's do what I came here for. Aha. So this is what I missed. All right. This is sneaky. So it's very sneaky stuff. This is the one that will mess you up. You'll forget to do it all the time if you're me. Most of the time you're going to draw that one, right? High to high to the lowest low between the two. And we try to do this programmatically. There's no way to do it unless I add the divergence analyst swings algorithm to it, and then I may as well try to automate the whole thing, and that's going to be a 6-month project just to write the specs for it. No. I need to start from this high. Yeah. So that's what I fail to see right there. And we'll look at this on the minute chart too, but I don't really have a great reason for using that high or low, to be honest with you. But just because of the sheer speed of that move down, it's acceptable. It's just not, that's where you get into the kind of fudge factor, you know, which one do I use? And how do I say without question that this is the exact case where I will use the higher low, or this is the exact case where I will not use the higher low, but the lowest low. Typically, for me, it's just a matter of how fast the move down into the low is. In this case, it's down, it could be up. But if it's really, really fast, well, then I'll use the higher or low if it's very close, or the lowest closing price, not on a random tick chart because that closing price could be anywhere, but on a 1 minute, maybe a 3 minute, but mostly a 1 minute, 5 minute, 30 minute, hourly. And that's pretty much it, unless you're looking at massive swings on the daily chart. All right, but that's one that I tend to miss pretty regularly. All right, so the new import manager is quite a piece of work. And there was that higher low, obviously. It looks much better on the 10 minute, which you'll see momentarily. I'll go ahead and move over there now. Before I go to sleep, I'll have those installers. I'm not that far off, to be quite honest with you. It won't be too much longer. Yeah, there's that. There's at least one of them. Actually, no, it was from this low here. And then the highest high, which is right there. See that? That's called a to the tick hit of the lower median line. Andrews and that gang would talk about the 80% rule, 80% of the time after you reverse from that area, which in the way that a lot of those guys trade, it doesn't really matter. Goodness gracious, Charlie's banging the door down. How far away, or where that median line is, because by the time they get into it, they're already up in here with a stop below it, waiting for the reversal, which to me is just clown shoes. Put your clown shoes on. Anyway, no, I like to get in with as little risk as possible, have the stop below or outside of the area, and then if it's moving from the lower median line up, chances are you're going to make it to the upper median line, and that's still yet up here. So, in all actuality, I don't think this is a 1-2. I think this is the end of that running fourth wave, and that's what messed me up in here. I had written some stuff on the charts of the ES. Let's see. Just to show you my last bit. It's Tim. Yeah. See, I had already gotten in early, but what I had written there, where is it? Yeah, this is scaling into a bad trade. But I mean, that's 60% of them for me will be bad trades. Well, I wouldn't say bad trades. They'll be losing trades, but it's not a bad thing. What am I saying? I really do not trust this high. I'm expecting at least one more higher high on these faster charts above my entry. I was talking about this, but before that, in general, I was talking about breaking out and actually making it up to the top of that trend line from high to high at least. But then there's also, there's quite a few areas just a little bit higher. So I'm thinking it's looking like it's set up for a kind of a fake out breakout deal. I believe we've already broken out of 3,400 as of right now. Yeah, we have. So we have broken the all-time high this evening. And we're going to take a closer look at that here in a moment. But for now, just having this and then what I'm about to show you with the import manager is going to make it all a lot easier to handle. I wish that we could get these images to also resize, though. They're not doing that. I don't know why, and he doesn't know why. Maybe somebody out there can help us figure that out, because that would be wonderful. Hey, Mickey. Yeah, this is all Ninja 8. Why is the indicator that gave you the buy and sell? Oh, that's in Bloodhound. So everybody that has the toolbar will have that Bloodhound template. That's the market geometry Bloodhound template. So that's from Shark Indicators. They just had a sale last week, which I think ends today. Yeah. And it doesn't show it on the site. Actually, I don't think he's even changed the site, unfortunately. We're still running the same sale that we were running before. So I think it's $1,200 for the toolbar. This is me putting my salesman hat on real fast. For today, only today, special deal, you and you only. Special deal today and only today. Special deal. What page are we on here? There we are. So if you go to, nope, he changed it back. All right, what is it? Let me find it real quick because that's kind of an important deal. Is it August? Something like that. Who knows the link? Of course, I should know it. Well, we'll come back to that. If one of you guys could help me, that would be awesome. Nah, it's the actual sales page link. I should have that, but I'll find it momentarily. I'll keep talking while we look for it. So back to the import manager. Do you guys have let me see. I was going to install a virtual machine on this one. This is the 6-core. But that would be taking a big risk, seeing as it killed my last 4-core. But let me do this. So let's go through these settings real fast. So when you get this, and this goes for anyone that owns the toolbar, absolutely anyone that owns the toolbar will have this. Let me show you briefly real quick. And in 10 minutes, just for the sake of your head and mine, we'll just take a short little bio break because I have a feeling this one's going to be a long one. But check this out. So you can make the toolbar look however you want. We've got 4 different layouts. Each one of those has 4 different sets of button images. You can make it look dull, flat, square. This is the Mickey Mouse version. And you can, or whatever, little gumdrop version. You can, do like so. Eventually this will snap and it'll be a bit more, I don't know how you'd say it, a little easier to fit the exact size that you want. You can just double click on it and make it snap. That's what I'm shooting for soon. But if you right click on the heading, all right, this is where you're going to have everything change. You guys aren't going to have the upload. That's for me and me only. But you'll have, if you're signed up to Analysis Live, it'll say Analysis Live. If you're not signed up, it'll just say Import Manager. Okay. And first of all, just to double check that you're authorized, you won't have to do this because if there's a problem, this will happen magically. You go to New, Trade the Plan, Authorization Interface. You pop that up, and that will show you what all you've got activated or not activated. Okay. And as the Analysis Live is a service, it's not really a question of whether or not it's up to date because it's all forum based, right? Okay. So if it says activated, well, then you need to open the import manager, and you'll do that from this Analysis Live dropdown. And I can't believe that he was able to turn all this into a reality in technically 2.5 days. But what you can do now, you see this button here, place Import Manager button on the toolbar black strip. Maybe it should say toolbar heading, but yeah, it's a black strip indeed. So there's your Import Manager button. And now auto open the Import Manager. So it'll do that on startup, just like the Reader Manager does with the whenever you have any reader accessing a signal from some chart. Okay. So now the Import Manager will auto open with the exact settings that you last had. I know that was kind of possible before, but not really, not fully. So to open it, click Open, or you can click the button right there. All right, and since I've changed my screens, it's opening up off screen. No, it's not. Here it is. Hey, you all. Sometimes you'll have to, let me just show you how I did that because that seems to be a recurring issue for some people. What I want to show you is the actual alerts that will start coming through. So it was, when I opened it, it opened up hidden behind this chart. And it's got something to do with Zoom and the fact that that chart was maximized. So in order to find it, I hovered my cursor over the toolbar icon, over the NinjaTrader icon in the task tray. And then I found toolbar import manager and I just selected it and then boom, it shows up. But what if it's off screen? What do you do then? Just hang it up and go home? Some people do, but you won't because you're going to do this. You're going to right click on the toolbar pro import manager. You're going to right click on it and you're going to select move. And then rather than moving your cursor, you're going to tap one of the arrow keys to the right of your space bar and to the right of that enter shift control. Okay, the right side of your keyboard. So you should have 3 arrow keys, left, up, down, and right. Right? It's underneath your delete, in, page down, home, print screen. Those are the arrow keys I'm talking about. So after you select move, tap one of the arrow keys. It doesn't matter which one. And then it binds it to the cursor. And then you just move it until you can see it. Oh, Chris taught me that. And then Microsoft. So that's a neat little trick. Anytime you've got something off screen that you can't find, right click, select move, tap one of the arrow keys, and then it attaches it to your cursor. Cool. It's pretty neat, right? All right, so this is where things get really, really cool. So this is now set to most recent, whereas before a lot of people had it set to all, and then they would re-import objects they had already imported. And then they were also exporting their own objects, and they would re-import their own objects, and then it just turned into a mess. So a long time ago, not a long time ago, but I had mentioned the fact that eventually, we had some of these settings trying to be smart in the way that we made it so that it would be extensible in the future more easily. We had the idea of being able to run market replay and playing back the day session. So, if you missed the day, you had to go to work, whatever, you could come home, you could hook up market replay, and then you could have some sort of button on here that would say play back today's session, and it would be able to do that. Okay, that's not yet doable. It's not even feasible. It's not in the cards right now. Maybe in the future we'll be able to do that, but it's not even close to being possible now. It was something I shouldn't have even mentioned, but evidently there are some people that have been trying to figure out how to do that. It's just not possible. At some point you'll have the ability to do that, but just not yet. All right, this is where I want to kind of show you around a little bit. And it's not, this is maybe a poor use of time, and so I won't major too much on it. because I don't have a virtual machine installed on this one, and I can't exactly show you how the alerts work, but we tested this on Friday. Okay, excuse me. 1 second. The main issue was that the alert would go off, but you couldn't actually kill the sound. So this is that dead man switch right here, or whatever you call it. You know, if you fly out of the boat, as long as you got that bracelet on, it'll kill the engine. So that's what this is. Just in case you fly out of your chair and knock yourself out, you don't wake your wife up when the alert starts going off. That sounded terrible. Anyhow, settings. Again, you've got the same setting here, but that's also settable from within the actual settings here. Auto open import manager. Auto open import manager. Okay. This is where you'll set the local file folders. So what we have instead of before, everything was kind of sporadic. You know, we had settings mixed in with filters. We had controls mixed in with filters. We had the different modes mixed in with the buttons that govern what occurs here in the data grid. So basically from here down controls what's in the data grid, and whatever's in the data grid controls what is imported to the charts or not. Okay, and you have two modes. It can be fully manual or fully automatic, or something in between that requires your input, whether that be clicking on a pop-up message or waiting for the pop-up message to expire. So there's a number of different ways you can do this. It's totally customizable according to whatever you think your needs are. So starting from the top, some of you may think that, you know, oh, well, I'll just start my own little Analysis Live service, and I'll just hook up all my buddies and they can pay me instead of paying Dan. Well, you can't really export my objects. I suppose you could delete them all and then redraw them and export them. And if you're going to do that, then by all means, please do. But no, you can't really export any object imported from an analyst. And that's by design. Otherwise, we would just simply use Dropbox like some of you guys do, or Google or whatever. So if you wanted to, you could do your own little service, you know, have your own little group. Let's say there's a handful of you guys, and this is why we have the forum. And this is why I wanted the forum to be open, so that you guys can form your own groups. You know, maybe there's a bunch of stock traders out there and you guys have a basket of stocks that you're all kind of agreed on. And one person's going to take the analysis for Monday, Tuesday. The other guy's going to take it Wednesday, Thursday, and somebody's going to do it Friday. You guys can do a little group folder in Dropbox and you can share amongst yourselves. So that's all possible with this section here. And you could add, you know, whatever folder, Dropbox, any cloud service, and share amongst yourselves that way. But if you have it set to auto mode for use with our service, the Analysis Live service, then what you want to do And I think you want this always anyhow. That's why I've changed it to be the default. So you only want to see the most recent objects. And you also only want to see those charts which you have available. Okay. The name of the chart is going to be dependent upon the tag set in the toolbar indicator right there. Okay. So if I export this chart, which I'll do now, you'll see that it'll show up as a tick 1 crude oil chart. Sorry, ES chart. Now it's refreshing. Available charts only. Let's make sure I got them all checked. Nope. Where's my delete or my select all? There it is, select all. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry, I got to select myself. There we go. So the tick 1, that's the most recent one. Now you can filter, which you couldn't do before. See? So this is the most recent chart. It's a tick 1 chart of the ES. Tells you the contract expiration or expiry. Tells you the name of the analyst, which is here. We didn't put the names at the tops because it's kind of redundant. It's pretty obvious, huh? These are analysts. These are instruments and periods, or sorry, instruments and expirations. These are periods and types, and these are objects. Okay. So if you have it set to auto import, but you also have alerts enabled, this is supposed to say always on top over here. That's what, well, it does with the pop-up. Yeah, always on top. Okay, now you can get really funky with it. So let's say that I do want to actually import an object. Well, let me open up another chart. Maybe I can do it this way. Maybe I'll do another $37.27 tick chart. And again, this is going to be in a short video that's going to be way more condensed. I just want to get some feedback and see what questions are. But everybody seemed to pull through with the installing of the web app, huh? The Chrome app. So that's pretty cool. It's really, really cool, actually. Quite relieving. Yeah. All right. So here we go. Oh, how are you now? Is that what you're doing? You're trying to center into the center of the screen here. Auto scale, center price on scale. Huh. All right. Okay. So I'll export it. I need to draw something new though, so it'll come in properly. Let's see. I bet we've got something like this. Yeah. Yeah, so you can see why I took one more right there. script and failed to wake up in the middle of the night and close it and go along. Oh, no, that was first thing in the morning. I'm talking about I was still up. I'm just kidding. All right, so I'm going to export this. It's going to show up here. If I've got it all set up to import properly, but watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to set an alert. And it's going to throw a pop-up message for 10 seconds. I'm just going to set it to 5 seconds. It's a little bit difficult to get that cursor to stay in there sometimes. Okay, and then what do you want it to do after the countdown timer? Do you want it to ignore it if you didn't actually click on it? Or do you want to import it? And do you want a sound file? Don't use number 1, my goodness. Number 4 will work just fine and won't drive you insane. All right, let's see if I can get it to import to myself. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Will you work? Oh, what do I want to do? Import and focus. That's a little weird. I'm praying that that is just because it's importing to myself, because that's just one ding and that's it. Well, to give him credit, the man pulled off what would normally take any normal programmer about a month to do in 2 days. So let's give him a little bit of credit that it even works at all, to be honest with you. But at least it doesn't stay on indefinitely to the point to where you've got to shut down NinjaTrader to kill it. So that's all quite a bit to take in, for sure. You guys write some questions out. I'm going to come back. I'm just going to take 5 minutes. You know, nobody can handle these 3-hour sessions anyway. It's a lot of it kind of turns into a waste of time. I think you guys show up just out of courtesy maybe, or I don't know. Sometimes I do say some pretty revealing, shocking things. Maybe that's what it is. It's probably that sexy voice of mine. Oh, baby. But you're all still here. So let's take 3 to 5, 6 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. 6:44. I'll be back at 6:50. We'll carry on. I'll answer your questions. And rather than talking about more of this, I mean, I'll answer whatever questions you have on it. I'm going to finish the update tonight so that you have it right when you wake up in the morning. Even those of you across the pond, certainly you're not still here. Maybe some of you are. But halfway around the world, Mr. Ed Stevens is waking up and raring to go. So he'll have his shortly. And then the rest of you when you wake up. So I'll be back at 6:50. We'll carry on. I'll answer questions, and then we'll do some analysis together. All right. Be back in 2 shakes. Why 3727? That's a good question. I'll answer that when I get back. It has to do with the average number of bars on a 2-minute RTH chart. And it's built via this time frame tuner, which was a little bit difficult for me to design. But thankfully I had Josh back then to make it right. I mean, I wrote the specs and everything, but he actually turned it into an object that you can work with. All right, I'll be back in a minute. I'll show you why we do what we do. It's very, very specific. Okay, sorry. So now then, what is that called? There you are. This is the coolest little program. And it's Chromium based as well. So here's our old Slack forum. Slim Jet works too. Yep. Slim Jet. Yeah, that's that. I found out it's Russian made though. So, fishy. But yeah, that's like a slimmed down version of Chrome. Actually works quite nicely. I just didn't like the idea of them supposedly not saving any data, and yet it's made in Russia. I don't know. Those pesky Russians. Anyway, they will be now, Jared. They will be now. I've got Camtasia. Watch this. And it actually opens. Should have a QRST. Watch it. Wait for it. Aha. Whereas before, neither my Cloud App nor Camtasia nor any other video program other than browser-based would work on that other hard drive that I had evidently cooked unwittingly, unknowingly. Yeah. So now we're all set. I've got not only that to render the ones that I had made before, but I have another program which didn't work because we used up all of our supposed unlimited enterprise bandwidth. Unlimited, mind you. We had used up all of the bandwidth just by those 2 or 3 videos that we posted in the forum by Bo, and the Elliott Wave resources, which granted was a pretty massive file. But just from you guys downloading that and watching those videos, it supposedly took up all of our bandwidth. And so therefore it wouldn't even open on my computer. So now I've got it set to use our Amazon buckets, which we do have endless free resources there. You know, by the end of the month, maybe it'll cost $2.12 from Amazon. So that's the way we're going to do it. I still haven't found a way to switch from screen to screen to screen very, very rapidly, but of course I can use our window manager to just simply alternate from chart to chart via the window manager. I don't know about you, but I cannot stand to look at this garbage anymore. There we go. Don't want to know about it. Don't care to know about it. Don't believe it. All right. So now then, any questions on that import manager? Let me answer the one about the reason we're using the time frames that we are. So if I go up here, do 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 do. Da, 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 da. This is how we do it. And this will be automated at some point in the not too distant future. This will be the next project after the volume analyst is 100% not the source of our performance issues. And that's coming to a computer near you very soon. This is how we determine the settings of the row bars, which are here. This is for the ES. This is the row 2. This gathers the signals, the confirmation signals from the 5, the 10, the 15, the 30, and the hourly. So it will find all of the little tiny ABC pullbacks from all of those charts. And wow, look at that. Could have just watched that Friday, but of course I couldn't really do anything Friday other than bang my head against the wall and try to figure out what's going on. But yeah, look at that. So if I would have just traded with this one instead of making up my own manufactured trades, I would have made money. It's amazing what happens when you don't follow your own system. Sorry, I didn't even take a trade Friday. I was too busy trying to short these. Look, this is what I was doing. I shorted here, and rightly so. And it's pretty close to a tick chart. I mean, it's the row bars. You do the min and maximum range, min and maximum ticks, min and maximum seconds. And you can make any bar type you want other than Renko's. I purposely made it not capable of doing Renko's just to spite you, because I detest them. I detest all things fad related. And then this is, middle of the overnight session before the open. It's whatever. No good. But it registers as an ABC. Why? Why would that register as an ABC? Because at this point, you're in a downtrend technically on this chart, and you've just broken that high, right? Right there. So that's the point at which you could begin to think that maybe you've got an ABC, and the volume also confirms that at that point, but then it doesn't. And it's no longer a potential short, but rather now waiting for the next long setup, which started to develop here and then finally finished here. So that's one of the 3 parts of this system. The main part is the market geometry, which every owner of the toolbar has access to, which is on that tick 1 chart. So this is the tick 1 chart. And when you have 2 or more areas coming together, when you have a bar touching 2 or more areas, one sloping in the opposite direction of the trade, one sloping in favor of the trade, then you'll get the signal. And then that's what determines when all of these other signals can be combined for the trade. And then on the row charts, you need the confirmation. So once I get this out of Bloodhound and into an actual indicator, I'll be able to make it more precise and extend it forward a little bit, allowing for some sideways movement after the signal, but only down to a certain point. So for instance, if it came straight down to here, well, that would negate it. But if it happened to go sideways for a number of bars, but not go too far, let's say not go beyond 1.25 or 1.5%, 150% of the average range, then I would allow it. So those are the types of things that I can do in Bloodhound, but to do is to compound exponentially the number of calculations required. So it's already a pretty big template, but all these solvers are doing are simply accessing values from data series that have already been calculated on all of these open charts. So there's no, pulling together of higher time frames. All of the higher time frame work is already done on the chart that these solvers pull from. So that's the fastest chart, the row BB. That's the Blackbird chart that we put the strategy on. This is the min one. You've got min one, row one, tick one. Those are more or less about a 2-minute chart, 2-minute. Then you've got the min two, tick two, row two. Those are equivalent to about a 5-minute. And then you've got the min three, which is a 10, RTH3, which is a 15-minute RTH chart, eliminating the overnight. Min 4, 30-minute, min 5, hourly, min 6, 138-minute. And then the daily and the weekly. So very, very strict and methodical. And provide some pretty amazing results when traded properly, as I did Tuesday and Wednesday, and posted 4.5% return Tuesday, 2.5% return on total equity on Wednesday, and then Thursday I got into a bad trade that I should have lost about 3%, but I ended up not losing so much because I had to shut it down, and then by the time I opened it back up, it was pretty much where I had entered. So long story short, that's how we set the settings for the row bars. All of the tick based charts, all the non-time based charts, is via the target minute period, number of days look back, which is now 7. So for crude oil, the current value of the tick one should be and will be 580. Okay, we weren't looking at crude oil. We were looking at the ES. So the ES should be CME, US index futures, RTH, or you could even use the actual US indices all the way at the bottom, which I use sometimes. US equity, sorry. And then calculate. Let's see how close to 3,700 that is. Not very close at all because it's lost all momentum. Yep. So it's a good thing to turn this down a notch to about 2,000. Let me just try the other one. CME, calculate. Probably be a little less actually. 2048. So yeah, this one should actually be, as that's the new one. This one should actually be 2060. So now we're approximating closer to a 2-minute chart during the day session, during the RTH open, 8:30 to 3:15. I don't like the Rincos because they manipulate the data. They show you a false open and a false close, regardless of what anyone may say or think. Now you can make it a back test Renko that supposedly shows you the proper open. but it's still one tick off because just like with a range bar, you've got to move one tick beyond. Maybe some people do it right. The Renkos have what? Sorry, the Renkos were the chart of choice by so many vendors so that they could provide phony back tests. You can make a Renko chart give any number that you want for a back test. And I despise them for that very fact because they've been used maliciously to con people out of their money. Elderly retirees, I think it's quite evil to do what those people have done, and to take advantage of the elderly is a crime in my state, and used to be punishable by death. Still should be, in my view. But people don't respect anything or anyone anymore. So, yeah. In my view, those people should be strung up in the street like we used to. But I'm old fashioned. I was born in the wrong century. Just happened to get fascinated with all this computer stuff. Do I have a Bloodhound template for volume with row bars? I do. I do indeed. In fact, that's where the Bloodhound templates are. They're on the row bars. But these templates include both volume and the divergence. So I'm actually making another template. Essentially what I've done for the volume analyst, if you just own the volume analyst, is remove all of the divergence and just left the volume in there. But see, that's only 1/3 of the system. So the signals provided by that, you can't judge a system or test a system based on its inputs individually. It's not logical, first of all, but it's not feasible. It just doesn't make any sense, really. The system is the system with all of its components. Take away a component and it's no longer a system, is it? It's just a system without all of its components, or whatever you want to call it. Use just one of the components of that system, and what do you have? I have no idea. You've got something that generates a signal, but what does it mean? Not much. Nothing special. Ricky Deer, how are you, sir? What version do you have? And you're not getting any signals? Maybe just check this, that it's set to signals and not disconnected. Then you'll have to get with Cedric to troubleshoot, or wait for the actual update that's coming out. As soon as I get off here, I'll be back to work on it. The latest does all of this automatically. It's been doing this completely automatically for 5 months, since March, I guess. So yeah, the reader system is all totally, fully, 100% automatic now. You don't have to do any recalculation. It's all automatic. Maybe you've got some errors. Maybe you've got some other indicators. Did you rename the workspace by chance? Do you change any settings in the Bloodhound template? Yeah, I'm not sure. You'll have to get with Cedric to let him troubleshoot it. Patrick. It was just a choice. Just a choice. I wanted a 2-hour chart, so I wanted something close to a 2-hour chart because I'm going as close as I can and multipliers of 2 instead of 3. 3 was too far apart. So I'm going 2 to 5 minute. That's granted 2.5. But then 5 minute to 10 minute. I also have a 15-minute RTH and then a 30-minute and then an hourly. So I wanted to have a 2-hour, but the 138-minute gives you an even 10 bars per ETH session for most futures. When I get a new import for the same chart, do you have to erase the market geometry on the chart before you import so as not to get the old and the new? No. So that's all taken care of. If the object already exists, it will just skip it. And if you happen to delete, like, I'm exporting a lot of text on the chart now, explaining my thought process, as I couldn't do videos temporarily, which will not be an issue tomorrow. Yeah, and I'll get my videos from Tuesday and Wednesday up tonight. So yeah, there's no issue with having pre-existing objects there. It just won't import the same one. But if you delete one on purpose, it comes set to show all deleted, but you could make it to where, let's say that I write some text that you don't like. In fact, you hate it. You want to get rid of it and you never want to see it again. You can set it to skip those deleted on a global basis in case you have 2 of the same charts open. Maybe you've got one open on a continuous contract, one's on the front month. You could do it on chart by chart basis, or you could do it globally so that if you delete the text from an hourly ES chart and you've got multiple hourly ES charts open, it would no longer import those to any of those hourly charts, whatever object you deleted. So it adds those to a queue. It's just that eventually that queue can get rather large and it can cause the import manager to import objects a little sluggishly. But that's after, weeks of deleting objects. And then you just reset it. So as long as you've got it set to only show the most recent, which it is by default, and just show available charts, objects for available charts, then you can control what you want to or don't want to import. And I'll be deleting everything that's in there from here back because it's not supposed to be 9757 tick. It's supposed to be tick 2 or min 1 or min 6 or monthly. This is the way it's supposed to be, not all this garbage in here. So I'll delete those once we get done here. But it's quite a bit easier to manage. You have alerts. It sounds to me like there's still one more little issue with the alerts. It's supposed to work as if it were an alarm clock so that you could, set a never-ending time. Basically, the pop-up window would stay open, just like with a toolbar. When you set alerts on a line, for instance, if I draw a line here, well, it's not going to give me an alert. like that, unless I extend it. All right, and then I set an alert. 2 ticks. This is 10 ticks. All right. So watch what happens on this one. See? It's got a countdown timer. But if I take that timer and I set it to 0, then it acts like a never-ending alarm clock. That's what I was after with the import manager, but it wasn't a simple copy and paste, evidently. Now that thing is going to go off and go off and go off until your wife kicks you in the jimmy and gets you out of bed to turn that thing off. But it will get you out of bed if set properly. What is the effect if the tick value has changed? Doesn't matter. Yep, that's why we completely modified the reader manager system. The whole entire reader system is now totally independent of chart type and period. It's all 100% tied to whatever is in the name of that tag. So it makes no difference what you've set the chart to. But the workspaces that I'll send out today will all be starting with the same exact values tomorrow. And we'll be updating those weekly, but you'll have to be changing the numbers, which is not exactly a very difficult job, but it is a difficult job when you've got 20 pre-built workspaces and you're trying to get an update out. That's real difficult, which is why we want to try to automate this. Yeah, I wasn't saying anything important, Mr. Francis. Just saying that that's a good way to get your wife to kick you out of bed, basically. Yeah, I hear you, Patrick, but that's not exactly 69 times 2 is what? It's not 276. You could do that if you wanted to. And it would still import my objects from the 138 to the 276. And then you could take my objects from the hourly and import those to the 69 minute. I didn't do it like that because people love their 60-minute chart. It doesn't matter what period it is, Patrick. It makes no difference. It makes no, that's what I was just explaining. So it's not tied to the chart type or period. You could set that to a tick chart. You'd set it to a daily chart. As long as it said min 6 in the toolbar settings in the tag, it would still import to it. Whatever I export from my min 6 chart, which currently is a 138-minute chart, you could set that to a 139 minute. You could set it to a 139 tick chart. You could set it to 2 weeks, and it would import it regardless. That's why we did that. It's totally how do you say it? Foolproof, I guess. You can't mess it up. Well, you could change the name here, which somebody's done here. But yeah, pretty hard to mess up. What else? Any other questions? Will the workspace manager place the charts correctly with the new templates? What does that mean? I don't understand the question. Yeah, I have no idea how many monitors you have. I mean, there's literally 120 different combinations. So that's really an impossibility. If you've already saved them in the window manager, how you like it, if you've already got the window manager saved the way you want it, you just be sure to back that up, right? Utilities backup, so that when you install the new one, you can then go into the backup and restore that one that you backed up right here. And then yes, because the charts are all the same. Yep. So if you've already set it up how you want it, yep. Yep. Absolutely. But that's the window manager, huh? Not the workspace manager. Let's see what else. We're losing people. I guess it's getting late. Somebody wanted to do some NASDAQ. Yeah, we can do some NASDAQ. Let's do a little analysis here. Because we're probably coming close to a high. At least one that'll give us a deeper retracement, surely. Well, nothing's sure. That's for sure. All right. I think every single one of these is off screen. Yep. Perfect. Crude oil has sure been relentless. Here's YM. We'll do YM too. If it has errors, there's a reason it has errors, which is one of three things: workspace name change, moving the charts as they're opening, not letting all of the charts finish loading before you begin moving them. That will cause big time errors. And then not using the most up-to-date Bloodhound. You could also just reinstall it, and then you'd have no errors. But if you're modifying those workspaces, then chances are well, not chances are, but maybe something got modified that shouldn't have gotten modified. I don't know. All right. Here's the NASDAQ. Ooh, it broke out of the broke out of that 200%. So that thing is not coming to an end anytime soon. What is the deal? I hate to use such a massive target. We need a monthly chart. What workspace? Yeah, then you just got to let it wait. Just have to let it wait. And it is rolled over properly. I mean, it's rolled over. Did you increase the number of days back on that one? You might open it without the data feed connected. So I would disconnect the data feed and just open it up. So number one trick, rule number one, guys, that's what I tell Cedric and everybody. Rule number one, when you're opening a workspace that has Bloodhound and the reader system on it, on the charts, don't touch anything until it completely finishes loading. And that is the main reason why we made this Ninja Manager, for which there is an update, actually. But that's why we made the Ninja Manager. So you could just let it, let the Ninja Manager open it, which is this guy. Let the Ninja Manager open it. I'm always using the Kinetic end of day data free first. I'm connecting to that first. So I have the best, cleanest daily, weekly, monthly data that goes back as far as we can go, typically, unless you have IQ feed or, bar charts or something. And then Kinetic for my minute and tick data. And then one of the brokerages to route the orders. I just need to pass out the donation plate. And then I set it to high priority in case I have Zoom running at the same time. And I set this wait for a chart I don't know why he set it to 20 seconds. It's totally unfeasible, especially if you've deleted all of your data from the cache and you have to re-download all of that data. Then, set it to 75 seconds. Set it to 60 at least. I'd say 90. And Ninja 64, obviously. If you have a 64-bit computer, which I hope you do now, and then run it and let it go. Don't touch it until it says it's done. And then you should be fine. So I myself, I'm expecting to move well beyond all that. I think we're in a third of a third. So I can't agree or get on the same page with anybody that thinks this thing is coming to an end. But then again, I've got to at least make the case for it possibly happening. I just think we'll get to the top of this channel before that does happen. So, I mean, if they're literally trying to do away with paper currency, which they are, in fact, trying to do, that's going to take some serious manufactured crises to pull that off. I guess the idea is to automatically, just like with the whole vaccination thing, they're going to use that Bill Gates MIT snake bite looking thing on your hand that emits light, so that they know for a fact that you've been vaccinated. They don't have to deal with records. They don't have to, trust you that you say that what you say is true. They'll actually be able to see it with a scanner. So just like with that, they want to do the same thing with transactions. They want their quote unquote fair share. Fair share. If it were fair, it would be an equal percentage for all. Despite what anybody says to the contrary, that would be fair. Equal percentage for all, no matter what. And only for buying and selling goods. You cannot tax labor. At least that's the way our Constitution was originally formulated. But anyway, so what do I know? I'm just a poor old white boy out here in the hillbilly country. %. That's the lowest low. Oof. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, I like that. Hmm. 78.6. Well, you do have a little bit of a overlap up there. Let's try one more. Oh. Oh no, I don't think it, Frank. It's planned. It's already, you can go and read the whole plan. They're doing it. They're doing it now. Yeah, one world currency. The Pope is somehow involved in it, which is odd. I don't know why he's some sort of economic expert or why anyone would think that he is. But yeah, he's got some sort of plan that they're releasing in January. Yeah, it's all very bizarre. Not hearsay. I mean, this is United Nations, you know, minutes from their meetings. Trump is in the way because he's basically, you know, stopped every, what's the word I'm looking for? Referendum that the United Nations has adopted, tried to put through that every other country already agreed with. He kind of single handedly swatted them down. So they got to get him out of there ASAP or else, which makes a lot of sense, right? With what you see going on today. I don't know. Who knows? Smoke and mirrors. But yeah, they say money's dirty now. They don't like you using it at the restaurant. No cash, please. It's dirty. It's got that Rona. It's one heck of a plan they've got. Don't tell me it's not a plan. Please don't. Well, this is where things get tricky. So you've got the highest high, and then you've got that lower high. And there's a lot of swings in the Dow, for instance, that will use that lower high on the way up. Some of these swings in here, these swing highs. I wouldn't put a whole lot of faith in putting a high in anytime soon. For one thing, it's vertical. For another, people are still, I mean, it's still difficult to find computer parts. People are still leaving commercial property is going to have to go into a downward spiral. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that'll fall over into the retail housing, but commercial property is going to be dropping. Everybody's going to work from home, and it's people are going to get weird. A bunch of people acting like me out there. Ugh. Oh, Hermie. What? Uh-oh, Portland went crazy. Not again. Those poor guys. I mean, those, poor guys that live there that have to endure all that. Sheesh. Oh, they had a duke out? They let them duke it out? That's a first. Hmm. Willing participants. Well, yeah, I guess so. Wow. That's a nation first right there, huh? Kind of. Although it's been a lot of nation firsts here. Yeah, but on purpose, huh? Unified that way, which is all very bizarre. I don't know. Anyway, I just can't get over the fact that governors think that they can just speak laws into existence and that they have all done it and nobody's really. Anyway, guys, we have a long way to go on the NASDAQ, and I don't think it's stopping anytime soon. I think this is all meant to be. Technocracy is taking over. It's just beyond it's beyond analysis, really. At least on the daily and the weekly, you've got plenty of room to the upside. I'm not looking for a high in the ES. I know a lot of people probably are. In my view, in my estimation, let me just export this. Yeah, that's not working right. Yeah, it just rings once. That's not right. So this is what we just broke out of and pulled back to. And now we've what, gapped up? So that was the previous high, 33.98, 97.75, 97.50. I said 98 for the longest time because it was right perfect at the top of the channel. This channel, actually. One of these here channels here. Well, now it's got me wondering which one was it? Oh, it was this one. I'm using this high or low. Nope. It was the lowest closing price and the highest high, which was right there. And the lowest closing price, if I remember correctly. Yes. And that was coming in at 33.98. Yep. And that was our spot to short, but I couldn't bring myself to hold it. I shorted down to right there. And then the next day it gapped straight down. Well, whatever. I normally don't short all-time highs. But that one was just too, I mean, really it was pretty spectacular. I want to say it was this upper median line. Yeah. See? So to draw that with a median line, I mean, this is market geometry, why it works. Well, I don't know why it works, but this is how it works. Anytime there's a really straight shot move, lowest closing price or high or low if it's nearby. And that's where they were all intersecting up here. 47. I need a, oh, it is a continuous, yeah. 47, yeah. So anyway, that's the ES. Of course, this low was, you know, just incredible. Right there. A little bit hard to buy it when it looks like that, and it's the fastest move of all time, literally of all time. Which means what? A lot of people working in tandem. Very bizarre. It's almost like these things are designed for you to lose money. Interesting. There we go. Trying to find the one example where the lower high is what gave us the high. This is it. Yeah. See? So if I delete that one, all right, that's why I said in NASDAQ, you've got that lower high. And that may be the one that gives us the next high. That's actually much closer. So that's what lined up with this high, as well as, you know, multiple other ones, but it's actually to the tick. Well, it wasn't to the tick. It was pretty close up there. Pretty fascinating stuff, isn't it? At any rate, I am going to go finish these installers. Yes, thank you. I'm going to go finish these installers so that we're all on the same page tomorrow. And we can actually do this thing as it's meant to be. Meant to be run. Let me, I'm just going to grab you guys a link. I'm just going to post this because it's still on. There's no reason why it shouldn't be. Let me see real quick. I'm just going to search Slack. There it is. Right here. You gotta be kidding me. Well, I can fix that real fast. But yeah, there's no reason why, seeing as Jeremy's sale is still going on, and we kind of got off to a bit of a rough week. Now that it's actually working properly, I think we ought to let this sale be extended for at least another couple of days. Otherwise, it's just not fair to all the guys that kind of wanted to see it first, you know. Well, now that it's all the kinks have been worked out, I think you've bypassed a lot of the nonsense by waiting. So here it is. And yep, it's only taken 12 years, but we're there. Mr. Bryce, I got your email, man. Call you in a little while. I'm gonna call Mick first and then call you afterwards. I won't be able to talk long, obviously, but we can at least touch base here. Only 6 tech companies are pushing up. Yeah, but it's the biggest, most important ones that kind of run the show, isn't it? If NQ is going up, shouldn't the ES follow? YM all run alike? Not necessarily. I mean, they're made up of totally different stocks. So there's something called Dow theory, and Mr. Charles Dow, not Charles the kitty cat. Come here, Charles, kitty cat. Charles Dow had a theory that when transportation stocks that were back then, you know, a lot to do with the railroad and all the big robber barons. Isn't that what we used to call them? Robber barons? Robber barons. Why don't we call Bill Gates and them robber barons? Isn't that what y'all were taught in social studies? About the robber barons? Yeah. So Mr. Bill Gates is now that he's a what do you call it when you help humans? Never mind. Now that he donates all of his money, he somehow doubled it. It's amazing what you can do with a foundation. Philanthropist. Yeah, now that he's a raging philanthropist with a foundation, somehow managed to double all of his money. Just like the ExxonMobil guys. You know who they are. I'm not going to say their name out loud or else I'll be flagged. The oil kingpins that wrote most of our school books. Yeah, well, Bill Gates is doing that now too. He's the guy behind the Common Core, right? Got to train that younger generation to do what they want them to do. It's pretty easy when they're young. That's what Hitler said. Get them when they're young. Funny thing is his daddy was a eugenicist. He was the first president of what's that place that kills all the babies called? Planned Parenthood. That was Bill Gates' dad. Technically, I guess he was the second president. But before that, they called it eugenics. What did eugenics teach? Some people are inferior to others and need to be exterminated. Couldn't imagine that guy being the man that gave me a vaccine. Not me. Sends chills down my spine. Y'all should look up the ingredients in that stuff too, by the way. It's all brand new technology. All right, I'm done. You guys have a good one. We'll talk tomorrow morning. I'll kind of talk at you via video. But yeah, tomorrow it's going to be run as it should. And I'm going to get this update out as quickly as possible. So stick around. No, don't wait for me. Not if you're on this side of the pond. It'll be late. It'll be midnight by the time I get it out. All right, you guys have a good one. I'll talk to you, the rest of you, next week, I reckon. All right, bye everyone. Have a good evening. Good luck. Good luck this week. It's going to be volatile. Yeah, I wasn't saying that ES was turning down, by the way, if that's what you picked up. I was saying that it's pulled back to the channel that it's broken out of. So this is the, whoops, I think Bo has it kind of flagged as putting in a high, but I'm of the opposite opinion. I'm thinking that it broke that downsloping channel. It's pulled back to it, and now it's heading higher. It is kind of riding this midline here. So until we break above that, it's a tough nut to crack. But yeah, NASDAQ is so straight up with such plenty room to go. I think ES is going to provide the best buying opportunity. And I think it's probably going to be setting up in the next couple of hours, actually. It's come straight down. And if it's doing what I'm thinking it's doing, then let's see, 1, 2. Doesn't have to be a WX. Yeah, I think. No, I was looking at it wrong. It's already turned back up. Yeah, so I think we're in wave C of 5 of an ending diagonal. It could be wave 3 here. It'd just be quite awkward. And then wave 4 there. Running, it doesn't really make sense. But anyway, I'm looking for more up in crude for one final high. Just see this for a second. It's definitely lost all momentum. It's lost the volatility. Average range is really getting pretty low. We just need one more good pop. This is what I want to see at least come up and tag that trend. Actually, this trend line here. Because I think that's a fourth wave low. And that's a 1, 2. I think we're still in wave 3 of an ending diagonal. And I think it's going to do this. Come back. It's got to come back inside of this high. So let me just delete that. So that means it would have to come back down below 42.50 after breaking up to 44.55 or higher. And then go up in one more ABC up. That would likely take us maybe to the top of this channel or another one that's more obvious by that point. Yeah. Man, it's nice actually having everything so responsive and working flawlessly. SSDs don't like to, M.2s don't like to get too hot, evidently. All right. Good evening. Have a good one. Good luck trading. Trade safe. Don't blow your account. All right. Bye, everyone.